I have not been a strong supporter for the Community Preservation Act and the tax on the sales of homes. For instance, we have a significant amount of money budgeted for centers and green space. And I know members up here, we have different feelings about that. I personally feel that at a time like this, that is definitely something that should be cut out from the budget. One, the centers and green space, which I originally raised, I didn't say we were throwing it out, so we're putting it on hold because I personally feel that a lot has to be changed and looked at in that, which we can do internally without the expensive assistance of the attorney and the planner until that point. These people are experienced, they've been working on it for years now. The centers and green spaces has been a very costly plan. A lot of good ideas have come out of that. I feel our present zoning, particularly the farmer's plan as we have it now, covers that, protects our farms, protects them at minimum cost to the taxpayers. It would create a giant traffic snarl. We have to pursue the commercial end of that because we need more local commercial to help our tax base. But the residential end of that, I feel our present zoning takes care of. And I'm not in favor of the transfer of development rights. We transfer large development rights that could invite someone like Toll Brothers or a very large developer to come in and build 500 homes inside of a year, where all of our development has not been that great. It's all been local people, local jobs, and the money's just turned hands locally, rather than from some outside source that would come and go. So I really need more time to talk about it, but just to give you my overall feeling, that's where I stand with that, and that's why I want more public input into that plan. And I don't think we need to spend as much money as in the present budget. It's not approved yet for next year as we have, and that's why I'd like it to be looked at more thoroughly by all. Well, I told you how I all feel about it. There's some good points in it, such as the need for the sewage system. I'm not in favor of all development that the companies have. I'm not in favor of the transfer of development rights. You know, where someone could sell all the development rights and plunk, a few hundred houses here or there. So as presently constituted, I certainly do not feel that that is a win-win. In its present form, I personally feel it is a lose-lose for all the taxpayers.
In January of 2009, the Red Hook Intermunicipal Task Force published what's called the Centers and Green Spaces Plan. This big 2-volume planning document, which is now before the town board. It promotes what they call smart growth in the town of Red Hook, preserve the rural character of the town and villages, promote economic development to increase the commercial tax base, reinforce the traditional village centers, like we're sitting in tonight, and to protect our natural resources. I seek election now to the town board to ensure that the Centers and Green Spaces Plan will be passed.
Well, then my only thought is the Centers and Green Space, if people say, well, we need more time to look at it or to think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been on the table for 5 years. We've had, I can't tell you how many community meetings, we've had input from everybody. It's really a product of a lot of work, a joint, across-the-board, bipartisan kind of effort that should be funded. And we can work at it to find ways to fund it without hitting the taxpayers.
Thank you.
As far as focusing on particular issues to be funded by the town, when you talk about centers and green spaces, that's an issue that I don't believe that we can ignore. It has to be passed, it has to be enacted to preserve the town. And if it means that we have to do some extra work to find funding, like Robert already this year has done up a grant on his own to get at least $10,000 to help fund the further planning costs of enacting centers of green space. But I would find a way to do that without costing the taxpayers money. I think that comes to the heart of this election. Because if one says that they don't want to fund the centers in green space, it's a philosophical difference that you are not tuned in to the idea of having to enact this legislation for the town of Red Hook.
Thank you.
So this is an expense that the town board surely must have anticipated when 5, 6 years ago they said, well, give us a plan where development should occur and what type of development. So we did that. It's smart, it's intelligent, it's carefully thought out. It was honored last week by Pace University Land Use Law Center as an innovative planning tool, a model for smart planning, in local areas. It's a win-win situation. I mean, one says, well, why would someone not want the Centers and Green Space Plan as it's crafted, with the fact that it has to be fine-tuned through these public hearings in the next few months. But it is not that expensive, and it's in the best interest of the town. Well, you just wonder why people are so determined to say no, so determined to dig their heels in and say, I'm going to resist this plan. It's obviously been tested by the judgment of people who value smart growth and land use issues that are resolved in favor of the best interests of the town. And yet there's still a lot of resistance, it seems, in the town of Red Hook to this plan. And frankly, I don't understand it unless it has to do with the fact that they don't have the political will to actually do it. But you have to do it to save the town in the future.
Thank you.
And with a sense of pride in the traditions of Red Hook, I say the traditions of Red Hook, because I think of my late sister, Claire O'Neill Carr, who wrote a brief history of Red Hook. She had a passion for this town. I want to continue that, and I want to be a part of it. I'm well aware of the issues impacting the citizens of the town of Red Hook, including the cost of living here, the need to restrict poorly planned growth, and the importance of the Centers and Green Space proposed by the Intermunicipal Task Force. If elected to the Town Council, I would bring a clear, balanced, and positive voice for our community, applying common sense and reasoned judgment to the decision-making process, as I have for over 40 years in my career in public service, to do what is best for the town of Red Hook, and not what is best for any special interests that support their own agenda in our town. To get the job done requires work, some sacrifice, dedication. We definitely have that.